All right, D-Man, time for our Pick 4 segment. Last week, you went 2-2. You are now 11, 16, and 1. I went 3-1 again. I am 13 and 15. I'm over 500. And, of course, I picked the biggest blowout and lost one of the most miserable picks all week, but that's okay. All right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Dave.
I agree. When I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, boy, am I wrong. All right. Browns plus 2.5 down in Cincinnati at the Bengals is where we will begin. Who do you have in this one?
Well, I just got done saying they're one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL, but I'll take the Browns here for a number of reasons. It is interesting as you look over the years in the NFL how teams will galvanize, how they will rally around these so-called distractions from the outside or stuff that we think is a distraction on the inside. So it's entirely feasible to me that the Browns look at this whole Odell Beckham Jr. thing and say, all right, it's outside noise. He's gone, but inside this locker room, we believe in each other, and we're going to go down to Cincinnati and we're going to win. Another reason I believe the Browns are going to win is because the Bengals stubbed their toe in a major way. Now, they didn't just stub their toe. They broke their toe, all of their toes, in the Meadowlands against the Jets last week. They were coming off the Ravens win, and everybody was crowning them. Here come the Bengals. And their defense was shredded. And it was shredded by a backup quarterback by the name of Mike White. So if the Jets can do what they did to the Bengals defense, why the heck can't the Browns do to them the same thing? And we know that Bengals-Browns games are typically wild anyway, and they're entertaining. So I think the Browns can keep this close, and when they do keep it close, they'll be able to pull one out in the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Browns will win this game. I keep going back and forth on this, and the Browns are either going to come out and kind of, as you mentioned, galvanize, or it's going the other way. And I have enough faith in Kevin Stefanski and what he has done in a year plus that I think he will have it so that team is galvanized, plays together. Michael Carter, a rookie for the Jets, ran all over and was a problem for the Bengals. So Nick Chubb, expect him to have a big game. And I also think David Njoku could have a big game. So I am going to say yes. I will go with you on that with the Browns. Plus 2.5 at the Bengals, and I think they will outright win it. Browns need a couple of turnovers too. Let's get that defense back on track, although they played pretty well against Steelers. All right, second game, we differ on this one. Raiders at the New York Football Giants plus 3. Who do you like in this one?
Honestly, Dave, I don't like anybody the rest of our slate. I mean, I've never felt so dazed and confused by picks as I have this season, even when I haven't done all that well in previous seasons. This year, I just can't get a handle on certain teams. They drive me nuts. The Giants is are one of those teams. I was all set to do what you're going to do, which is to say take the Raiders, until I watched the Giants in Arrowhead on Monday night against the Chiefs. And I thought the Giants played a reasonably good game. Now, the problem there is how good of a game was it actually, because the Kansas City Chiefs, at this moment anyway, are a shell of themselves, and they were lucky to get out of there with a victory over the Giants. So when you try to figure out what kind of competition do the Chiefs represent these days, it becomes more difficult to judge that game. But I'm going to say that the Giants use the Chiefs game as momentum. I'm going to say that the Raiders having to travel across country is not going to be easy. And so give me the Giants plus the 3, I guess.
I'm going to take the Raiders minus the 3, and the reason I'm going to do that, short week, I like the Raiders defense better than I like the Chiefs, and I think the Raiders running game could be a problem for that Giants defense. All right, next one you're going with Patriots minus 3.5 in Carolina at the Panthers. Who do you like in that one?
I like the Patriots here. I'm probably going to be riding the Patriots all year. Although last week, inexplicably, I bailed on them in L.A. against the Chargers when Belichick completely confounded Justin Herbert last year. He did it again this year, and I should have known better. But slowly but surely, quietly, relatively quietly, Bill Belichick and the Patriots are dangerous again. They are an AFC wild card contender. I continue to say I just cannot believe that the rest of the NFL, or at least half the NFL, allowed Bill Belichick to draft Mac Jones in the middle of the first round. It's just mind-blowing that the rest of the NFL, after getting its brains beaten in by Belichick for 2 decades, would allow him to reload with a quarterback after just 1 year of struggling with Cam Newton. But you know what? Such is the world we live in. The NFL, other teams don't know any better. And now Belichick has a chance to rebuild in a hurry. And I think the Patriots are feeling it. And therefore, I think they will be able to go to the Panthers and win this game by a touchdown.
All right, Vikings at the Ravens, -6. That one in Baltimore. Who you like in that one?
Yeah, the Ravens, because they're not happy, to say the least, with what they did against the Bengals at home. And they've had a lot of time to think about that. And so I think the Ravens come out and do serious damage to the Minnesota Vikings.
Fair enough. All right, my final two. I'm going to go the Chargers coming across country, -1.5 against the Eagles. I think Justin Herbert rebounds from that loss to New England. I like the Chargers. I don't think the Eagles defense has an answer for Mike Williams or Keenan Allen or Austin Eckler. And I just haven't seen enough of Jalen Hurts at this point to buy into that Eagles offense, who, by the way, don't have Miles Sanders now. So you've got 3 guys running in the backfield in Boston Scott and Howard, and also a third one in Gainwell, Kenneth Gainwell, thank you, in my ear. So I'm not buying the Eagles running attack, so I'm going Chargers -1.5. The other one I like is the Cardinals -1 at the 49ers. Kyler Murray, who was banged up at the end of that Thursday night game, is expected to play, and I don't think the 49ers have an answer for Hopkins and Moore. I know that A.J. Green is likely not to play. He's on the COVID list, but I think the Cardinals offense scores enough to win on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. So there it is. Again, I've got a 15-13 on the year. You're 11-6-1. I got a few games lead on you. We have a couple where we differ, so you have the chance to catch me. The D-Man, Dennis Manoloff from WTAM News Radio 1100, 106.9 FM. D-Man, as always, man. Appreciate the time and the insight.
Thank you very much, Dave.